Hello, and welcome to Just Keep On Winging It, uh, a continuation of my old series in Kerbal Space Program. So, I was doing a series called Just Wing It with some challenge rules for Kerbal Space Program, and unfortunately, I encountered some problems and I ended up abandoning it. According to the analytics, nobody was really following that, so I didn't make like a video explaining what happened. If you were following it, I apologize, but yeah, didn't seem like anybody was doing that. But basically, what was happening was that I was making a probe to go in orbit around the moon, and it was flipping out, like the center of thrust wasn't going through the center of mass. And at first, I thought it was a bug because also RCS build aid was not showing any torque with the engines, and I was using symmetry, so it made no sense. So I was trying everything. I reinstalled everything, and with that, there was like an update to RP1, and it further messed things up because they changed the programs. Uh, and then also at the same time with my landing practice series, OBS stopped playing nice with IL2 Sturmovik. So I just got frustrated and abandoned both series. But I feel like it's time to get back behind the joystick. And apparently, the issue is that engines are not that consistent with their thrust. So even though so it only happened with vessels that had more than one engine, and I placed them in symmetry mode. And recently, like I decided, okay, let's see if there's this issue still a thing. And I don't know why I didn't think about this before. I checked the thrust from each engines as it was flying, and yeah, there was a slight variation, and it was enough that even with RCS, my craft could not keep its orientation. Now, I don't know if this is a bug or a feature. I mean, it makes sense that, manufacturing defects and everything, and just you're not going to give it precisely the thrust they're designed for. So I can imagine that being a feature. I did write a message in the forum asking about this, but I never got a reply. So let's just assume that it's a feature and try to work around it. It did seem a bit too strong. If I think it was a 2 kilonewton thruster, if the thrust variance was enough to overcome my RCS, which yeah, I was using one of the small ports, but still. But anyways, I was kind of looking forward to the idea, and we never really got around to it. Um, which so yeah, I'm going to keep the same challenge rules as that one, which are Kerbals can only return to to Earth from orbit in winged spacecraft. So I cannot use capsules to return from orbit. I can use lander cans just because it makes no sense to bring wings to the moon and such. Um, but yeah, that's the main thing. And I'll probably try to make it also for unmanned probes as well. Like any re-entry vehicle will be winged. Um, and then there's the fact that I am not allowed to directly control any craft that is unmanned. So I will be using KOS to control everything unless there's a pilot, and probably at that point I'll also use KOS to control most things, except early on the airplanes. Those I'll fly manually. Um, this time I'll try to breeze through the first part and get to where we left off in that series. If you didn't watch that series and you're wondering more or less like about the game and the mod, I would say watch the first episode of Just Wing It because I go into the details of my plans and everything. Here, I'm Not going to go through my thought process behind all the administration and such. I'll just update on the important things. Uh, so this episode is probably going to take me a while to record. Um, and well, I would say just watch the first episode because that you don't really get to the meat of the issue in that series. Although, if you enjoy watching Kerbals die fire deaths at landing, then yeah, that's go watch the rest of it because yeah, I'm hoping to improve my flight skills for this. Also, at least now I have a better idea of the whole programs and launch complexes, how it works. So I think I'll be able to do better decisions as far as administration and which programs to go for first. Um, but I think that's good enough for the introduction. I'll set up the program and then come back to let you know quickly which uh, what are we going to do for the start, and then I think I won't be showing every launch, even though I was only showing highlights of launches. I won't be doing everything. I'll just show the important ones. Okay, so this is what I've come up with. Things have actually changed a lot since the previous version that I played. So now I can't assign leaders until certain milestones, carbon line, research in basic rocketry, etc. And now it's not like you don't have a program limit, but a program slots limit. So you have start with 5, and we have filled 4, and different programs have different slot values. In the end, given that we were the starting available programs, which are these two and the explains, are 2, 2, and 2, so I can't get all of them. So I've actually, even though this is a winged focus playthrough, I've gone for the other two. So go with research, and I've actually gone for breakneck this one. So we have 4 years to complete it, 4.5 years. Deadline is 2nd of July, 1955. And that will give us more funding per year. These are also the two programs with the lowest funding, so at least at first we're going to be strapped for cash, but we won't have to be building planes. The thing is, with planes, usually, ideally, if you're not crushing them, you only build them one at a time. This one is just fast. I couldn't afford the breakneck as far as the confidence, and I also don't think that would have been a good idea. But hopefully that means that by 1955 we can start the X-planes, and we'll have more plane technology, so we can just do one plane for the first several contracts at least. Well, we'll need at least 2 because there's jet contracts and there's X-planes. But yeah, to not have to upgrade them so often as last time. So yeah, that's the program situation. And this will be our starting rocket. I just went for SR1s, Sounding Rocket 1. I'm not going to give like proper names until it's an orbital rocket. But yeah, we're going for the A4, is it? Engine, which has gimbal ability. So this one will be guided. Last time I started with unguided rockets and I was attempting to go the Japanese style. But I was trying still with this engine, but just science core. And it lost control like at around 20-kilometer altitude. It was going too fast and lost control. And honestly, like, if I'm going to try to breeze through it, I'd rather just build a rocket that can handle many contracts. So this will get to around 250 kilometers in altitude and over 200 kilometers downrange. So that will take care of quite nicely of the first few contracts. And this is also having a film return camera. So at some point, once I'm done with this, I can replace this with a Aerobee upper stage, which I think I recall last time the Aerobee needed to be lit on the ground, but now it doesn't say it's launch clamp assisted ignition, so we can. I think that means we can light it in the air. I hope so. Otherwise, I just made a huge mistake. But it's yeah, okay. Um, so yeah, I have to build a launch complex. Oh yeah, let's do research. I forgot to mention before, we are again in the Woomera, I think it's pronounced, launch complex. So that's in the middle of the Australian desert. Now, my logic behind testing this one in the last playthrough was if I'm bringing a lot of space planes down from orbit, I'll probably miss the runway quite a few times. So it gives me a nice flat desert to land in. But as we found out in the previous Let's Play, the desert is not that flat, and landing in the desert is a bad idea. That's how a lot of the progress died. So I was very tempted to go to the Omelek launch site. I think it's the one that SpaceX started with. That's in the middle of the Pacific, and water landings seem to be more survivable than desert landings. But then I decided, like also part of the fun here was that I'm at a higher latitude than the inclination of the moon, so I can't just launch into an orbit that is matches the inclination of the moon and then burn. And it was fun to have to do direct descent trajectories towards the moon. So I want to keep doing that. So I decided, yeah, let's try this, and then it's now have to be more careful with actually getting to the runway. And I think I'll be more conservative and bailing out with my Kerbals if they're not going to make the runway, which still leaves a lot of possibilities for thinking, okay, I will get to the runway and then screwing up the landing. I was also tempted to add apparently there's a mod that adds wind. I'm tempted to add it. The main thing is ideally, if you have wind, you want more than one runway to have options of which one to land on, depending on the wind direction. I did fight a little bit with Kerbal Constructs, so um, and yeah, I didn't manage to get it working. But I noticed today that Tyler Race has a tutorial on how to get it work. It's mainly for shuttle pads, but I'll see if I can get some idea of what I was doing wrong with his video. And if I manage to get it working, then yeah, I might add a wind for that extra challenge when landing. Okay, research. I almost started with supersonic plane development still because I do like the supersonic fins, but at least in the simulations, the fins were holding. So I'm going to go. We need to research this. We need this experiment to finish the suborbital science program, and that's the one that we went to break next. So we need to finish this as soon as possible. This will be priority number one. So hopefully the fins are holding. If not, we might be screwed. And another thing I learned is that confidence is key to be able to do fast programs, which if you do faster programs, then you're getting more funding per year. So I think I'm going to prioritize confidence when it comes to choosing my administration. Uh, but yeah, that's the uh, administrative side setup. I don't want to linger too much in it. So we're building the launch complex, and then after that we have to build the rocket. So I'll come back with the first launch. Okay. I think I already screwed it up a little bit. I went too conservative with the amount of engineers that I hired, and this took more than a year to build. So it's now 1952, and we have uh, 3.5 years to finish the other program. So, but now I see like how the uh, like we have a lot more money now from the funding from both programs. So I will hire a lot of engineers after this launch, and the funding should increase with the reputation from this launch, provided it works. Let's actually, I want to monitor the science, so let's do this. So we have two contracts, pass the Karman line, and first launch. Oh, we had a failure. Really? For the first launch, we had a failure? Uh, or did I screw up the... Ah, no, yeah, it was a failure. Ah, fair enough. That's just bad luck. Um, Let me see if I remember how to do that without having to build the entire bloody rocket again. Okay, I cannot. Uh, I hate that. So there's a failure and I have to rebuild the whole thing again. Okay, I have maxed out the engineers at. Oh yeah, I actually have 3 extra. Okay, that was stupid. But yeah, I really have no use for them right now. We managed to get this to a little under 100 days, so let's go for that. I could rush it, so, but I think I prefer the efficiency. Oh, and we no longer have any research. I hate having an idle uh, research center, but yeah, that's what it is. It's only for 5 days, though. Okay, take two. I need to remember to set up an action group for the terminal. Okay, we have a good ignition this time. And we had a failure, but performance loss shouldn't be too bad. We're getting into space. But we definitely won't get as much science as I was hoping for. Uh, as long as we get two. No, I think the recovery of the vessel should be more than enough to. I know we need a 4 to research the next node. Let's see. Okay, we have parachute deployment, and this will be a successful mission. So this will give us two complete contracts. Well, and a bunch of the, let's say, passive ones. So yeah, first launch, 900 meters per second, 1200 meters per second, 1500, 40 kilometers, 60 kilometers, 100 kilometers, common line. We now have 10 more applicants. And now we have leaders, which is good. 140 kilometers. Oh, I thought that was going to be. We did make it past 160, I think. Yeah. Um, Maybe I should have included the full return camera this time around. Just to, I don't know how much integration time it added, because that wasn't a contract that was yet available. but we got extra science for it. So we have 5.8 science already, and that's not counting the film return camera because it needs to be recovered. Plus, I think I'm getting science from recovering the craft from suborbital flight. And I think also recovering an aircraft that, or a spacecraft that survived a flight in general. So let's see. We already have enough science, but hopefully we get a little bit more with landing. Okay, there we have it. Recovery of a vessel after suborbital flight. 5 science. So apparently I don't get also for just recovering a spacecraft. Uh, 2 science from the photography. And news that we've reached space. Okay, I need to figure out which are the missions that I need to get to unlock all the missions I need for the uh, research contract uh, program. I mean, this is one of them. Yeah, so orbital research. Um, oh, yeah, I forgot this was a thing. I'm glad I built a rocket that has avionics because I was about to go for unguided one. So this, I'll well, I don't know if we reached the 100 kilometers distance that we had a failure, but in general, we should be able to do it. So this should, I will just launch the same profile again. So I won't show that. So I'm going to do a few more missions off camera and show anything that's important. Okay, so a bit of an update now. It is now March 1954. We have the advanced biological capsule above this rocket, and we also have a second stage. So it's the first time flying with the second stage. It is also the if this launch is successful, we will have completed the suborbital research program. So yeah, I kind of managed to breeze through it. Let's just launch this and talk more about what has happened. So unfortunately, and that's a thing that I feel the new RP1 setup, like the whole launch complexes setup encourages you to be a bit more creative and okay, let's try to modify this mission in a way that it can be launched in one of the rockets that we have, so you don't have to build an entire launch complex. But then it goes and limits like the contracts you can have. Like I couldn't do the return something from suborbital flight contract at the same time as biological sample, suborbital biological sample or suborbital film return. Which I mean, in reality, like you try to launch multiple missions in one rocket fairly frequently. Obviously, now that it's bigger rockets and you can launch hundreds of small satellites in a single launch, it's more common. But still, yeah. So I actually had to use the spin motors to stabilize this because if I stage right now, the dynamic pressure would be too. I'm not sure if it's the dynamic pressure, but this would always flip out of control. So I needed to wait for. Oh no, we had a failure. Uh, well, it had been a long time without a failure, so we were overdue. Uh, Can I, do I have ship manifest here? Yes. Let's dump the fuels so that the parachute can. Okay, that's going to take a while. Oh, this is only available in space. Um, yeah, so I have to, even though I had already returned the biological sample capsule and the film return camera, I had to do another mission to do the return a spacecraft from suborbital flight. Which, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but I mean, I also understand maybe it's just that you don't breeze through the programs that quickly. Like I am already, well, I thought I was going to be done with this with the first program with this mission, but test flight had other plans. But I'm still like more than a year early, and I went for breakneck speed. Um, but I honestly feel like they could have gone about it a different way. Okay, I'll return with the next launch. Obviously, this one. So yeah, let's go through the difference here. It's not just having a suborbital flight, but we need to have a surface speed greater than 2,200 meters per second. So that's what I needed the second stage for. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, second attempt at this mission. Oh, it's starting facing to the north instead of to the east. Didn't notice that. I should have also, now I have unlocked these supersonic wings. Should have maybe changed it. With testing, sometimes the wings blew up, at least one. It should still be fine as long as we keep two of them. Nice. Down launch? What's this? I should turn off the camera shake when uh, in external views. Does make sense. Okay, that was Miko. So far, everything is nominal. And successful ignition. We're past 140 kilometers, and we have reached the target velocity. So now all we need to do is touch down safely, which the previous one did, so shouldn't be a problem unless we burn up inventory, which I don't think we're going fast enough. So yeah, with this it should be the program finished, the first one. We still need to do the 3,000 kilometer downrange contract, and the 4,500 kilometer, I think it is. I will also try to do some of the like extra film return contracts. We still need to get all the science out of that, and biological sample. The advance, it takes a long time. Like it needs still almost the entire day. And I think this is just better to save it for when we are actually orbit capable, or actually capable of bringing something back from orbit. I think it just makes more sense. So I'll start working on a rocket to. I'll see if I can get it to 4,500 without modifying the launch complex too much, and then use that rocket to take care of all the contracts. Okay, it's getting a bit dicey, but yeah, yeah, we're good. We're good. And I'm actually checking to see what kind of downrange distance we get. It's definitely not even close to the 3,000 kilometers that we need. But, well, for starters, the next film return uh, camera contracts have a downrange requirement, so it's good to know what this rocket can do. But also gives me an idea of how much I need to. Obviously, the next, like the downrange contracts, will not have the advanced biological capsule or the parachute, so like those are not going to survive brilliantly. So there's no point in me including them, even the small one. So it should go further. And that's program complete. Here we have contract and program. Let's go to the administration building. Okay, so here we are. We can already complete it. I'm not going to do it just yet, just because we are at the peak of the funds. And I want to start the suborbital, not the suborbital, the X-plane research once we have a few more technologies. So I think let's just focus on early rocket development right now and get the extra funds from this program, because why not? 45.7 from completing it right now. I'll have to check if that goes down dramatically if we get closer to the actual end date. But yeah, reputation-wise, we're fine. I also want the other contracts that it has for the confidence, because required contracts don't give confidence, optional ones do. Okay, so I'll come back with the next important launch. Okay, so it is now May 1955, and I think it's time to finish the suborbital research program. I won't get a chance to do another flight for said program. We'll miss out on a couple of months of funding, but nothing major. And yeah, it's time to start the plane research. So here's the current status. We just unlocked new leaders, the contractors. I don't think I mentioned like this. I unlocked the administrator beforehand, and we went for Chilomi because you needed less confidence to unlock a new program, and I was worried about the amount of confidence. Turns out, so the way it works is that yeah, I think I recorded the previous section yesterday, so I don't remember exactly like if I mentioned this before, but like required contracts don't give any confidence, so all of these, but then the extra ones you do tend to give. I managed to do all of the suborbital film return contracts, and it gave me a decent amount of confidence. Yeah, as you can see, we'll be missing out on this amount of funding. Yeah, I'll look later through these. So that's the administration. Okay, yeah, so let's come on. Program, and yeah, the reputation goes down a lot if you're completed close to the deadline. But I think the money was worth it. We're doing quite well. Yes. So now it's time to start this one. And I think I want to 9 years. No, I want to do it just fast, not breakneck. I mean, I'm trying to focus on winged aircraft and spacecraft. So I want to get a lot of the side contracts for this, and it also has a lot of things. Sound barrier, Mark II, stratospheric research. I don't remember this one. Okay, altitude, hypersonic, and carbon. and there's going to be a bunch of optional ones in between. So I want to take care of them. So yeah, let's just go fast. 9 years, it's quite good. Uh, it's to be completed in 1964. And it's, how much is, yeah, 595. So we do have the confidence for this, but yes. So now the main thing is we have a year and a half to finish this one. So it should be the main focus. We really only need to do these two. And wasn't this 4,500? Huh, interesting. So I'm going to see if I can build a rocket already that can achieve this and is still within the constraints of the current launch complex. Yeah, let's go to the research centers to see where we are technology-wise. So we're researching early rocketry. We have unlocked the first level of material science, so we have aluminum tanks now, and that will probably help us achieve the 5,000 kilometers with the current engines that we have. We have unlocked the first level of rocketry, so we could switch out the engines, but new engines need new data. So I'm going to see if I can manage with the current engines. This node does give us the XLR11, which is the X. This is the X1, right? Yeah, the X1 airplane. So we now have the ability to do rocket-powered aircraft. We are on supersonic flight, so we already skipped the first level altogether. So we can already make a decent aircraft. I haven't queued this one up. What do we get here? We have a lot of engines here. Let's queue, and then I'll figure out the order I want things to be researched in a little bit. Early rocketry gives us more administrators or leaders, and the RD-200, which would be a good rocket to start like the orbital contracts, rocket engine. Here's when we get a newer spaceplane engine, but where's the R7? Yeah, RD-107. It's all the way over here. So that's the level to go, so we probably won't use that to get into orbit. Avionics, we only have the first level. Oh, I haven't. Well, this is only science core, but still, I should purchase this. Queued up the first level of electronics, but we don't need this yet, so I'll push it to the bottom of the list. Tank upgrades. Oh, yeah, this is already applied. So we have an engineer efficiency upgrade. Let's purchase the service modules, all of them. What is this? Yeah. Okay, so that's everything. And we haven't gone into any solid rocket motors. I do want the separation, so maybe I should. Yeah, it's just not a priority, but let's queue it already. Okay. So I think this episode has gone long enough. We just ended a program, so I think it's fitting to end the episode here. I need to design a rocket to get to 5,000 kilometers downrange and design aircraft. So I'll do that, and in the beginning of the next episode, I'll show you what I've come up with, and then I'll see if I start with the. Actually, now I can't build rockets and engines in tandem. Actually, no, I can because there's the hangar, and I will just need to buy hire more. I'll see if I can build them in tandem. I no longer remember how it worked because I think at some point they changed that. But I think that was before the launch complexes like setup. So I'll figure that out, and next episode I'll show uh, what I'm working on, and if I manage to, I'll prioritize the rockets because we only have a year and a half. But if I manage to start also building the airplanes, or if I'll just wait for more research to be done there. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.